Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and welcome to our presentation. Today we are going to present our task given by the lecturer, which is the desktop research. Before we go any further, I would like to extend my gratitude to our beloved lecturer, which is Dr. Wak Emri Bewan Abdul Rahman, for his guidance in manufacturing process subjects throughout the semester. This presentation will elaborate more about the manufacturing process that involved in our chosen company, and it will take about 10 to 15 minutes. Without further ado, please bear with us and let's get started. Recently, we discovered many car accidents happen in our country. Sometimes the accidents happen due to the failure of brake pad, and because of that, we decided to choose a brake pad company, which is the NURIQRAM. For your information, NURIQRAM is an expert brake pad safety since 1994, which is based on Toronto, Canada. Recently, this company was set as an example for all the automotive industries for its technology. This company uses NRS technology since it can create a safest brake pad. With this NRS retention system in the brake pad, it can provide many things such as galvanized steel, hook which grabs the friction material, improve brake noise, long lasting and indestructible. Furthermore, this technology used to create OEM brake pads for top cars such as Ford, Bugatti, Audi and etc. So next, we move on to the department involved. First, engineering department, which is to design a 3D brake pad by using a software. Stamping department, to produce the brake plate. Quality control department, to ensure that the product has no defects. Mechanical attachment department, to produce a silent brake pad. Galvanizing department, to prevent the brake pad from rust. And lastly, research development and testing, where the brake pads will be tested. Next, we move on to the objectives of our desktop research, which is to develop knowledge on how the product was created, to understand the scope job of each department, to adapt ourselves with the surrounding in a real workplace, to encourage ourselves to be the best engineer, and lastly, to enhance our skill in industrial environment and develop communication skills among group members. That's all for me. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad NURIQRAM bin NORISHAM. For the manufacturing process, first, design a die 3D model in computer-aided manufacturing software. Each brake pad has to be manufactured to strict tolerance, so all precise measurements are going to be taken from the model and need to be used to create a die. The die function is to stamp the brake pad backing plate. So for the next process is a hot rolling process. The rolled steel coils undergo a heating process. In this heating process, the steel coil will roll out into shape. After the steel is hot rolled, leave the steel cool in air condition. The third process is the press and stamping process. The coil will put into the loading bracket. The steel will release, which roll into the feeder, and the worker could feed the steel into the press machine. The steel has to travel through a series of rollers to be flattened out. Once the flattened steel made into the press, it applies up to 100 tons of pressure to stamp out a single baking plate. Lastly, the worker will blow off the baking plate with some compressed air so they could visualize inspecting. Next is the quality control. The baking plate will be sent to the quality control department to be measured. The baking plate will be placed on high-tech scanner, and all dimension analysis scanner use light and camera to precisely measure every part of the baking plate. Then the tracking number will be printed out on the surface of the baking plate as a figure shown below. The fifth manufacturing process is a mechanical attachment or press method. A press method is a new technology invented by ANWAR brakes, where small stud called sharp metal was scraped on the baking plate. The blank baking plate is fed into the press, and the press pushed down to scrape the surface of the baking plate to create hundreds of sharp rasps. The sharp rasps allow the brake pad to stick the baking plate without glue. Next is the galvanizing. The baking plate will hang on the rack before coating with zinc to prevent it from rusting. So here the process is the rack of baking plate is dipped into the heated water and sodium hydroxide bath to remove grease from the surface. Next, it will come out of the bath and get down into the plain water to rinse off the baking plate. Then it goes into the pickling bath where acid clean any surface, rust and scale off the baking plate. The rack get submerged into water again to ensure the rings off. Baking plate are placed in a aqua solution and electrical current is run through them. Zinc ion attached to provide rust resistance. Then the rack goes to the treatment section to improve corrosion resistance. Lastly, the baking plate are rinsed in water and pulled out to let them dry. Fusion process also of the newest technology of this company. These are the process of fusion process. The worker places the friction material into the holder followed by the baking plate with a mechanical attachment facing down into the friction metal. The fusion metal rotates and brings the baking plate and friction material to the press. The press pushes down with 1200 psi of pressure to join the friction material and the baking plate as one solid piece with no heat used. Next is the rubber coating to make brake shim. The rubber coating is used to isolate the brake head from the caliper to keep the vibration. Thin rubber coated piece that goes on the baking plate to make it little quicker. Then put it on the back of the brake pad and snap it on. For the last manufacturing process is the research and development. There are 3 tests were done onto the brake pad. First is the brake dynamometer test. The brake pad is compared with the black painted brake pad. Then the brake pad is installed into the caliper for torture test to ensure that this is hold up to the hardest condition. As the start button is hit, the brake rotor will spin to highest speed and then multiply panic stop will be tested. The process repeated over and over until the brake rotor is brought up to 600 degrees Celsius. Second test is a corrosion chamber test. The painted brake pad and galvanized brake pad will undergo some wear and tear test after the dynamometer test. Salted humid air is being circulated and the worker must wait about a day for the test to be completed. And the last test is shear test. The black metal piece is going to be pushed on the side of the brake pad and measure the force it takes to break that friction material off.
Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad AMIERUL AIZAT ROSLAN. I'm going to present about design concept and quality assurance. So first, the baking plate attached to the brake pad used to create friction that can withstand with high temperature at sudden emergency stop, less noise and less longer. NR aspirates quite expensive on the market, price high demand, and they manage to maintain their quality. New modern technology called sharp metal technology have been introduced. There is no need any adhesive materials or heating process. Longest lasting brake pads that include zinc plated steel construction and premium friction metals. They use the patented sharp metal technology to enhance the security of the brake pads and not eliminate from the baking plates. Through a process, 800 tons of pressure exerted on the surface of the baking plates to make the small studs. Then they brought to quality control department to undergo a torsion test. Maximum stress tested to brake pad and the maximum value of pressure obtained. They run brake pads on dynamometer to get to do the temperature and speed test. They use the highest highway temperature, which is 600 degrees Celsius. When they passed the test, they tested the brake at corrosion chamber and test endurance during cool weather. end of manufacturing process, NRS brake-proof new technologies have no failure. They develop quality control to upgrade design in the future. So next, I'm going to present about product produced. There are 4 technologies implemented in NRS brake pad. The first one is fully galvanized backing plates. Galvanic protected backing plate can prevent rust and corrosion from building up, hence increasing the longevity of the brake pad. The second is patented NRS technology. The main character of NRS brake pads were the sharp metals in situ galvanized hooks. The metal hooks were embossed on the backing plate to grasp the friction material tightly, eliminating the uses of adhesive. The third one is premium friction materials. NRS brakes selected semi-metallic friction material as their brake pad. Semi-metallic brake pad consists up to 65% metal and offers better resistance to heat. And the last one is noise cancelling piston insert. NRS brakes come with a noise cancelling piston insert that are able to reduce the brake noise up to 90%. Next, problem faced. As you can see, there are in the slide, there are problems and the example of the problem that we can see on the product. First, detachment of the friction material due to first, corrosion, thermal destruction and mechanical influence. The second one, damage due to environmental influence caused by insufficient pattern of contact, frictional surface contamination, insufficient friction particle distribution, transition of material. And the last one is production fault. There will be a pressing fault, cause porosity and break off on the surface.
It is remarkable to see how many manufacturing processes are required merely to make a brake that can fit a various vehicle model across the globe. Sharp metal technology implied NRS brake onto the brake pad is a real game changer in automotive braking industry. The cost of production was decreased simply by adding embossing metal hook on the braking plate, which is eliminate the use and the need of adhesive. Furthermore, when no adhesive fluid used in the process, less finishing is required. The significance of our finding is that this technology can be applied to various manufacturing process of brake pad. Even though the standard brake pad joining procedure is adequate for making brake pad to execute its function, it does not rule out the possibility of developing a new and improved joining process. Despite focusing on just one product, NRS brake outperformed its competitions and ranked first of the best of brake pad manufacturers. They create a technology that can improve the product durability, reliability and longevity.
My name is NURHAKIM bin GHAZALI. Next, I want to explain about continuous quality improvement. Continuous quality improvement is a progressive incremental improvement of process safety and patient care. The goal of CQI may include of improvement of operation outcomes, system processes, improved work environment or regulatory compliance. NURIQRAM global companies need to identifying the common defect among the product thing to overcome the problem faced that was occur. The improvement that can be made were the material needed to have same properties and same chemical composition for brake pads to get a consistent quality of a product. Then the manufacturing process need to follow all the processes in order to manufacture the brake pads. The quality improvement important in manufacturing to make sure brake pads to give some braking performance, even those brake are over a decade old, corroded, working in a poor weather because the car drivers need to trust the brake when driving an emergency time. And that's all from me. Thank you.
So that's cover everything that we all want to say. Thank you for listening and have a good day.